Hi, and we're back with another live video update from the Federation for American Immigration Reform. We're going to be talking about state level driver's license bills and other ones that you ought to know about if you're involved in immigration reform. But first, let me just tell you, if you're watching this on YouTube, you want to hit that subscribe button because we do this every week and you don't want to miss out on any of the latest immigration reform news and be part of the citizen army working across the country to try to bring some common sense back to our border security and border control. Again, I'm Dan Stein. I'm welcomed by Sherry Rendell. She's our Affairs Director of State and Local Outreach, and she's going to give us an update on things happening here in Massachusetts right now. Sherry.
Well, thanks, Dan. Massachusetts is very busy. We're hoping that they actually do go out of session on time. If they do, it's supposed to end this Friday. But one of the things that they're really trying to push is a police reform bill. And you might ask why we're concerned about police reform. You would think that that is something that has nothing to do with immigration. However, this bill will needlessly hamper law enforcement. It gives excessive influence and it allows unelected and unaccountable nonprofits like ACLU to push their political agenda by giving them disciplinary authority over law enforcement and correction officers. It also, whether it would be the House or the Senate, would adopt either bias-free policing or community policing, which could shield criminal aliens in the community. It could restrict information between schools and law enforcement, which is really needless because right now schools are considered sensitive locations and law enforcement don't generally do any kind of immigration enforcement unless there's an extraordinary circumstance that impacts public safety. So the fact that they want to do this in the schools and hamper communication, especially on immigration status, is a red flag. There's
So you're
a
saying
bill that could impede.
they want the ACLU to be in charge of disciplinary proceedings for law enforcement?
Well, they'll be included. They'll have a voice at the table as part of a commission. So yes, there will be some influence by not only them, but other nonprofits. The House bill toned down ACLU's role compared to the Senate bill, but it is something that is deeply concerning as this bill is being conferenced. We expect it to be conferenced and possibly go to the floor this week. Governor Baker up in Massachusetts is a Republican. He's opposed to the bills that are winding their way through. He did have his own police reform bill. I don't know where they are as far as that. We do have our sheriffs and our police up there that are opposing it, including Sheriff Tom Hodgson, who's on our board of advisors. This could impact him and his 287G program, depending on what the final version looks like. So this is deeply concerning on many levels. And right now, we expect to go to conference. There'll be 6 members, probably 2 Democrats and 1 Republican from the Senate, 2 Democrats and 1 Republican from the House. The good news, if there is any, is that the House only passed this by 93 to 66. That means they don't have a 2/3 majority, which would be required for a veto override. Mm-hmm. So we are hoping that as things move forward, we can engage those members who were opposed to this legislation and continue to push them in that direction.
Okay. And what else? One of the things, there's another bill too, right?
Well, so one of the things that Massachusetts Open Borders advocates are pushing is to include driver's licenses for illegal aliens in this police reform bill. And there's also sanctuary legislation that has gotten out of committee that could be considered. So Massachusetts is one of those states where there's plenty of activity going on. We would encourage folks to make sure they let their legislators know no sanctuary cities, no driver's licenses for illegal aliens, and continue to push against this police reform.
And is there a place on our website where they can get more information on this?
There is. We have written legislative updates on this, and I know that we sent an alert out to our activists up in Massachusetts. We have been engaging. Jonathan Hannum is our field representative up in the state, and he's been engaging folks up there on a weekly basis. So they can definitely find more information out from going to our website or contacting Jonathan Hannon directly.
All right. And let's see, what about New York? What's happening in New York?
So in New York, we have a what we call an ICE lockout bill that will not allow ICE to arrest illegal aliens going to court, at court proceedings, or returning from court. This was passed by the Assembly and the House in last week, June 20th and 22nd, and it also codifies a federal court decision in New York that said that ICE couldn't use the courts as a place to arrest illegal aliens. And while ICE does not get involved and arrest people at what they consider sensitive locations like schools and hospitals, they don't consider the courts a sensitive location. This is actually someplace they prefer to go, since illegal aliens have gone through screening processes and we know they're not armed when they're in the courts. If ICE is forced to go into the communities, it not only endangers the ICE agents, but it endangers the community at large. So this is something where they don't want to have to go into the community. And one of the things that the reasons they have to go to the courts is because New York is a sanctuary jurisdiction and they're not allowed access to the jails, another place which is an easy, secure place to pick up someone who is a criminal alien. So this is an area where we think they may be exceeding their authority. Federal law is supreme over state law, and ICE generally has the authority to arrest people who are violating our immigration laws anywhere in the U.S., and they don't need a judicial warrant, which this bill would require.
Well, it seems like overt obstruction of federal enforcement.
Yes.
So what's the name of the bill?
It was an ICE, we call it an ICE lockout bill. It's gone to Governor Cuomo. He has 30 days to decide whether or not to veto it.
So you want people to back Cuomo?
Yeah, he's indicated he's going to support something like this. He's signaled support for it before, so it wouldn't be surprising if he does sign this bill.
So there's no way to stop it?
No, probably not.
A lawsuit?
Pardon?
Going to sue? Is the Trump administration going to sue?
They have sued in California with a similar bill. I would anticipate there would be some kind of suit by the federal government in this matter. I can't tell you at this point whether or not that will happen.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, what about New Jersey? What's going on there?
So New Jersey is another state where we're facing some push. They are looking to possibly provide professional and occupational licenses to those in the country illegally. It's amazing at this point where there are so many people who are unemployed because of the coronavirus pandemic that they would even think about this. New Jersey has 1.3 million unemployed workers in the state. And there was this bill that was passed out of the Senate. It's been passed out of the Judiciary Committee in the Assembly, so it could go to the floor. Obviously, FAIR has taken a position over a long period of time against occupational and professional licensing for illegal aliens. They are subject to deportation, and so why would you license someone for a professional position who cannot work in this country legally?
Mm-hmm. So what are the chances of interfering with that process?
Well, in this process, there is some friction between the Assembly and the governor, and there could be a potential where they don't want to, before a national election, do something. Obviously, New Jersey votes on odd years, so their state legislature is not up for grabs right now, but it is something where there might be enough contention and might be enough that the more moderate assembly speaker may not want to push it. That's what we're hoping, at least. There's not a lot we could do up there. We do have a strong activist group and some key Republican legislators that have been able to make some headway. It's difficult in the Northeast.
Well,
Obviously,
at a time of such catastrophic unemployment, who are the people pushing this? Why is this a priority?
it's open borders advocates who want to make sure that those who are here in the country illegally, including those who have DACA, are able to get licensed. And they're pushing this at a time where jobs are needed by Americans and by legal immigrants. I don't understand at this time, at this juncture, why they would be pushing a bill like this.
Well, the only way they're going to stop is if they get pushback from Americans. And that's why we're alerting folks to what's going on. And in particular, these three states right now, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, is where some of the action is. So you want to be paying attention to these things and get involved in these fights early before they get off the ground. And when you get involved with what Sherry's doing in her program at FAIR, that's when you can make a difference. Early warning system is when you can have the biggest impact. So like I say, thank you for joining me, Sherry. And you join by clicking our subscribe button on YouTube. Down below, get our updates every week and stay involved. And that way we can make the most difference in these battles. So keep up the good fight, Sherry, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dan.